Buckets. Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Before we get into it today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, leave 5 stars, download the episodes, and either platform, share with everyone. Share the things. Episode 47, Andre Karolinko, aka 47. I think you accidentally said him on like episode 43, and I was like,
Yeah,
nope.
that's exactly what happened. Yep.
But now we're here and we can celebrate him because Lord knows I can't think of a single other person that wears number 47. So we're getting to those numbers where we're gonna have to really struggle here.
We'll split it up too. We could do like a 4 and a
Yeah,
7
we'll
or
combine them.
11. Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
will add it up. Yeah, so it's been a while. It feels like we haven't potted in forever. Our last episode that released, I think, was like 9 days ago. I released the episode of us talking about favorite moments from the past season. Hopefully, listeners, you enjoyed that. And then before that, we, of course, had the in-person episode when you were here in Austin. But it has been a bit. It has been probably like since we sat down and recorded like 3 weeks or so, something like that. So it's been a lot. We got a lot to talk about related to basketball, but first, of course, tell me, how are you back from Lithuania?
Yes, I am back from Lithuania. Been back for a week now. I flew in. It hasn't even been a full week yet, and I had a great time. Obviously, I had a great time too when I was in Austin with my mom and got to hang out with you quite a bit, which was fun, and played basketball. But yeah, went to Lithuania with my dad. Saw family that I haven't seen since I was 14. It's been 14 years since I was back, so it was great seeing
Big,
family. I didn't expect to see some of them either, so that was really nice just to catch up. It's hard to put 14 years in an hour conversation, but
right.
mostly just talked about music and
I got a band.
basketball. Yeah, it's basically like, well, the thing what I love is like, so I love basketball. Lithuania, everyone's obsessed there with basketball.
That's
So like,
awesome.
yeah, I tell them like, oh, I also love watching basketball. They're like, oh, so you watch NBA, you go to games, like you're in LA, you go to Lakers games. Like they know things. They like that kind of
And I
stuff.
got a pod.
And I got a podcast. I did share it. I did share it with my cousin. It's so funny because I was talking to him about my band, and then I told him I had a basketball podcast. He said, "Send me the link to the basketball podcast." I said, "Okay, okay, I get
Shout
it."
out, cousin.
Shout out Augustus. Shout out. Um, but yeah, it was really fun. I had a great time with my dad, especially because I go home with my dad, uh, but we don't hang out for like a week straight.
Yeah.
So it was nice to do that with him and see family, like I said, and go to places I haven't been since I was a kid. And things change, things stay the same. But I'm glad to be back in the US. I feel like I'm kind of back in the swing of things. It felt weird for a couple days, but feels good to be back. Got a little sick, but I'm better now. And yeah, man, I was just obsessed with Olympic basketball this last week, basically. So
Oh yeah.
just a lot of that kind of stuff. But how are you doing? How's everything?
Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot here. I haven't told you most of it, but so we can just unpack it right here on the pod. A lot of people in my life know, but it's because I've seen them and talked to them in person. I didn't feel like texting you it. So I haven't had a car for about 2.5 weeks.
What? What
Uh,
happened?
yeah. So basically, actually 2.5 weeks is a lie. It's 1.5 weeks. That's a hyperbole. Um, but the month of August, basically, I haven't had a car, and I was going to my friend's house to watch The Bachelorette because that's something that my group of pickleball players and I do is watch The Bachelorette. And as I was going there, I was using Google Maps trying to figure out how to get there, because I had never been. Um, this person in front of me, I guess they were turning left, and they were in the left lane, um, on like a 4-lane road, two going this way, two going that way,
Hmm.
and I guess they missed their turn, slammed on their brakes to try to turn like last second, and I was not far enough behind, I guess, because I slammed on my brakes, but I still bumped into them. And we looked at it, and like their car looked fine, my car looked fine. We exchanged information, and in Texas, if I bump into the back of someone, it's my fault regardless of like them slamming on their brakes. That's how it works here. So, I wasn't going to try to like claim anything, and I was hoping that they aren't going to claim anything. I was like, hopefully we're good here. And he has my number, and he said I'll let you know if I put a claim in. Nothing yet, so haven't heard anything from that. But when I was driving, then completing my drive to my friend's house, my engine started overheating and my car started stopping. And I would have to, like, I would be at a light or a stop sign, my car would stop moving, and I'd have to turn it off and turn it back on. And then eventually I got there. It took like 5 resets. And my oil, it said my oil was at 0%. So I was like, okay, that's not good. So what I thought was that maybe my oil pan cracked and all my oil leaked out. Um, and that would have been it. That would have been fine, but it was much worse. So basically, my car, which is still at my friend's house, by the way, um, it yeah, it I bumped in the back of this car, and this is it's a 2012 car. I bought it used. I've had it for a couple of years, whatever. But the little metal plate behind the bumper cracked in half, like towards the engine, and stabbed through the radiator and the AC condenser. So all three of those things have to be replaced, and I ordered them, and I have the radiator and the bumper plate are in my living room right now, just sitting there in a box. I'm still waiting on the condenser. It's supposed to be here
Yeah.
tomorrow. So then I have a mechanic that's gonna go out and fix that for me. So I've been slumming it. I got to shout out Jared, Chelsea, Adam, Sophia. All four work at my workplace. Jared is probably be the only one that would hear this, I would imagine, but they've been giving me rides to work. Then Autumn has been giving me rides home most days. So shout out Autumn for that. Um, so yeah, it's
Wow,
it's
man.
been it's been a little rough going with that. I haven't told you any of that. So
I can't believe I didn't know. I feel I'm like learning this. Like
yeah,
sometimes I know you hold basketball stuff, so I could find out with the listener, but now I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, this is life
It
stuff,
just
man.
felt like a
Well,
thing that was like, hey, let me tell you all this terrible shit that's going on
I'm
while,
so I'm
while
sorry.
you're
It's
like in Lithuania hanging out with your family and stuff. Like I just didn't want to do that. So
I get it. I get it.
um
Well, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. But you find out a lot about, who your friends are and things like who's there to support you. So I'm glad that you have like good people around you to like help you out.
yeah, I've managed to make it to like a week and a half of work without Ubering or anything, like a single time, which is
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Um
That's tough,
yeah,
I
so
imagine.
it's been mostly Jared and Autumn. Jared taking me to work and Autumn
Yeah,
picking me up. But yeah, those other people I mentioned have helped me out here and there as well.
that's
Um
great.
yeah, and then Adam even took me, you met Adam when you were down here in
Yeah.
person. He took me to basketball last Sunday, and then
Oh,
that was
cool.
like the last day because he went to New
He was
Mexico.
moving. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was
so
gonna say, I gotcha.
so we had a nice like last little basketball session and stuff as well. So yeah, luckily those people have been helping me out. But the day after that, I had water like leak out of my walls all over my laundry room and bathroom, which was awesome. And
Oh my
I had
God.
so I on July 4th, and I remember 'cause of course it was the 4th of July, I put in a work order that said my washer doesn't work. Like it wouldn't drain properly. The water wouldn't
Yeah.
drain out. It would just sit there full of water. Um, so I put in a work order for that, and it's August 11th as the date of this recording. It still doesn't work. Um, I still don't have a functioning washer, which is awesome. And I put in many work orders and talked to like the leasing office and the maintenance people, and they're like, yeah, no, like we when we go in there and run it, it's working fine. And I'm like, yeah, but if there's clothes in there, it doesn't drain, and my clothes are full of water, and I can't dry them because like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I guess the water coming through the wall, they said, oh, you had a clogged pipe in here. That's why your like washer wasn't draining, and now your washer's broken. So we're gonna order you a new one. So I'm like, okay, now I'm waiting on a new washer. And I'm like, well, we could have done this a while ago, like when I said
Yeah.
it wasn't working. Uh, so that's been the two big bad things, I guess.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good. I joined that band that we saw with
Bloco motion.
Locomotion. Yeah, I've been to two practices. I'm renting a drum, a bass drum. It's sitting on my couch right now because I don't know where else to put it because it's giant. And I actually just ordered some mallets the other day
Nice.
because
Yeah.
they gave me some mallets that were kind of crappy, and they were like, "Yeah, these
Yeah.
are kind of crappy. Like, you might want to order your own." So I did, and it was from this place called Sweetwater, which I don't really know
Yeah.
anything.
I know
Sweetwater? Okay.
Sweetwater. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I figured as a music guy, you may know. So I ordered it, right, and it was during my lunch break at work, on
Mm.
Friday actually, and I got a call, uh, like 30 minutes later, and it said maybe like Sweetwater, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, let me answer, and I answered, and it's just this guy, and he's like, hey man, like Yeah, I'm blah 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 with Sweetwater. I just want to thank you for ordering. We really appreciate your business. Like what do you what are you using these for?" I was like, "What is going on?" So I talked to this guy for like 20 minutes about like what I was doing. I was like, "Is this a music thing? I don't get this." But that was
Yeah,
fun.
I've never ordered with them. I have a lot of friends that, especially back in Texas, I think they're based in Austin.
Oh, really?
Um,
I didn't know that.
yeah, either Austin or I'm thinking of somebody else who's based in Louisiana, but pretty sure they're in Austin. And yeah, they're local, so they like working with them and buying stuff from them. So I
Yeah,
haven't, but
it was like so
that's
random.
cool. I kind of like when, businesses do that.
Yeah, I was just
I
like,
don't mind.
okay.
Like I talked to them for a bit. I'm like, why not? Might
Yeah, I
as
was just
well.
telling him like, "Oh yeah, I joined this band. I'm learning the drum." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." Um, so that's been good. College football has been really fun. That
Oh
game,
yeah,
been
I
playing
see
a lot
you
of that.
always talk about that in the group chat and stuff.
Yeah,
That's so funny to me.
that's been pretty good. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've been talking about myself for 5 minutes, so I should probably not and move on to basketball. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Hey, as long as you got all the big bad life stuff that you haven't told me out of the way, then hey, it's not all bad, Hey, there's some good things happen. We're gonna talk about in basketball, so
Yeah, yeah,
some fun things. Honestly, yeah, we'll get to it. But again, sorry that stuff's happening, but I'm glad you got things to do. You got people around you that care, so that's nice.
yeah,
And you still got a hoop, which is awesome. Buckets. So your shirt, you're wearing grammatically incorrect Waiters Island. I see.
yeah. I decided to rock Waiters Island. In this picture, Dion Waiters is an American, and the island is America because we're alone in the gold medal basketball department. Men
Yes,
and
we
women, maybe we
are.
both games beat France in both the gold medal games, which is so interesting to me. Um, and we'll get into that later, but
Yeah, we
that's
could talk.
that's why I wore this. I don't know why. What
Oh, I mean, that's cool. I wore this one because
America's on an island.
we are isolationism. Um, I opened my drawer and this was like toward the front, and I was like, I haven't worn this in a while. I haven't worn this since our first pod.
Yeah,
So,
and
and I
it
also just
is the
haven't.
summer.
Yeah, makes sense. I also haven't worn it in a while, so I was like, I'll throw it on. But
Throw on summer league for the listener. Summer league.
yeah, I'm wearing a white summer league shirt. Yeah, the same one the one I got last year, and it's so soft. Is
One
yours
you wore
really
for
soft
episode
too?
1.
Yeah, literally. So I'll wear it for every 46th episode.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So
I'll remember that.
I won't, but it'd be good to know. But yeah, so since I was away and since we haven't talked, there's been a couple like off-season news, like some people
Yeah.
moving around a little bit. So shall we dive right in?
Let's dive in. I'll kick it off here because I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
I think I know this person more than you probably, but
you probably do.
Jeremy Lamb announced his retirement from basketball after an 11-year playing career. He was the last in the league in 2022. I remember him most from his time in Charlotte on those kind of crappy Hornet teams. I know he was also, on the Pacers, I think, and as well as some other teams here and there. I didn't realize he was that old. I didn't feel like he was that old. And I didn't realize he hadn't been in the league in 2 years. I was like, oh, really? Huh, strange. I know he like tore his ACL, and maybe that was it. So
Yeah, I thought it was like a 15th like member on like the Kings or the Pacers or something.
just sitting around
Just
somewhere.
like
Yeah,
just yeah, chilling like on the end. I remember the thing besides me thinking that to me he's like a Jeff Green. He's been on every team in the league for whatever
sure.
reason. I don't know why.
That's
Um
strange, but okay.
it's yeah, no, it's not accurate, but I remember his buzzer beater in like 2019, I think on the Hornets.
Yeah,
Like they beat the
against the
Raptors.
Raptors. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I remember about Jeremy Lamb.
Thank you, Jeremy Lamb.
Thank you, Jeremy. That's going to be the name of this episode. Thank you, Jeremy Lamb.
It's gonna be
Um,
retirement of the Lambs, like Silence of the Lambs, but
oh, it's not bad. It's pretty good. We can do better. Next,
damn.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's very good. Also, who announced their retirement? Gordon Hayward announced his retirement from the NBA after a 14-year playing career. 14-year playing career, and so he started in the Jazz.
Mhm.
Then went to the Celtics, had that really bad injury his first game as a
Broke his
Celtic.
leg. Horrible video. Don't ever
It's
watch it.
don't ever, yeah, that's the first thing I watched. I heard about him was that, and I watched that and was just It was I never watch it.
He was
Absolutely
so
not.
good on the Jazz too. That's sad.
Yeah. And then went to the Hornets on a 4-year, $120 million deal. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. And then traded to the Thunder and didn't play really. Like they tried to play him, but he didn't really fit in their system, and then he retired. So
Had a bad exit there. That was-
yeah. But I kind of figured he was on his way out. Like I don't know
yeah,
where although like I think he could have been like a good role player on like maybe like a veteran player on a team that's not good, you know. And I think that
yeah,
was the idea with the Thunder, but they were like, "Oh, we're really good. We could probably get someone better." So, um
yeah. He's out. He's
mhm.
gone. I read his
Yeah.
thing. It said God in it 100 times. That was pretty cool.
I mean, he
Um,
does God is good.
what college did he go to? Do you know?
Arizona State. I don't know.
Butler.
What is that? What even is
Butler.
Butler?
That's
I
where
never
Brad Stevens used to coach. Butler.
where
Coached him at Butler. That's why he went to the Celtics.
where is Butler? Never even heard
Butler.
of it.
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. That's
I'll
good.
look it up.
I'm just glad you know that too.
I
Do
have
you
a
want to pose
question.
this question?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna pose this question. This
pose it.
question is, do you know who the only player from the 2010 draft class left in the league is?
That's wild that there are players, there's only one
That
left
was
from
only
this.
one.
Yeah, so I wonder if
Meanwhile,
this,
LeBron just walked
yeah,
around
literally,
with the
I mean, like,
2003 draft class. Like,
yeah,
uh,
I mean, Durant and like,
Durant,
Steph
yeah,
and all
Westbrook.
these, yeah.
Oh,
Jeff Green, James Johnson.
Jeff
Anyways,
Green's from like the fucking '05 draft class or something crazy.
that's so funny. It's so just to throw he's from the fucking '05 draft. It's so funny to me. 2010 draft class. So what they would be like in their 30s.
Yeah,
Um,
they're a really good player.
DeMar DeRozan.
No, that was a good guess.
Thank you.
I would say better than DeMar DeRozan.
Better than DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I would say change
Kawhi
teams this
Leonard.
offseason.
Oh, Paul George.
Paul George.
Wow.
Paul George.
Interesting. What draft? What number was he when he got drafted?
No idea.
You remember? Okay, that's fine.
No clue.
Um,
No, freshman year Damon in high school is not paying attention to the draft classes like that.
oh no, no. I figured. I just thought maybe you looked it up or something. That's why I was curious.
Butler's in Indiana, by the way. I actually knew that. It's in Indianapolis. I forgot because Gordon
Cool.
Hayward's from Indianapolis, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them.
Goodbye, Gordon Hayward.
Goodbye. Thank you, Gordon Hayward.
And in other news, maybe not retired, but not on a team currently. Bruno Fernando, waived by the Hawks, Rockets legend.
Bring him home to Houston. Bring him
He,
home.
he went from Hawks, Rockets, Hawks, waived. This is
So weird.
sad career. So I like Bruno Fernando. Every time I watch him, I get excited. I don't know.
He's not bad. He'll get picked up by somebody for sure.
Yeah, he'll be
Um,
somebody's third string center.
I know why you want to do it this way because you're gonna have me try to pronounce this name, and I would say I hate you for it, but I kind of love you for it. Here we go. So, Angie Pajitniks
Uh,
signed a
yeah.
two-way deal with the Bucks, leaving the Wizards. Oh man, that's
I
crazy.
couldn't have told you he was on the Wizards. I don't know
I
who that
couldn't tell
is.
you who he was.
I
Yeah.
didn't know. Sorry. Musa Diabate signed a two-way deal with the Hornets, leaving the Clippers. Oh no.
Oh man, that's a game change. Oh.
Ah, rats. Ah.
Well, this next one I actually know. So Kessler Edwards signed a two-way deal with the Mavericks, leaving the Kings, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
he's fine.
yeah, I just know the name. Like I don't remember what he's done
He
or
was on the Nets, and he was on the Kings. Now he's on the
yeah,
Mavericks. He's weird looking. I don't know.
weird looking. That's a
He's
funny
weird
way
looking.
to it's funny to
Yeah.
say.
Um,
Well, let's talk about some Spurs. Tell me what the Spurs did.
on the Spurs, David Duke Jr., Summer League legend. Remember that when they're like, meet Duke Jr. after the game?
Yeah, right. It was
Uh,
like Benedict Mathurin, Jaren Jackson Jr., David Duke Jr. I was like, oh, they got the Duke man. They got the Duke.
he signed a two-way deal with the Spurs. He was already there, so he's
Cool.
just sticking around.
Cool. Malachi Flynn, legend. I was listening to our Best Moments podcast, and I forgot that we shouted him out, and I love that we did. Malachi Flynn signed a 1-year deal with the Spurs, leaving the Pistons. He will always be forever a Pistons legend for his 50 points and then 0 point back-to-back games.
Yeah,
So love
absolute
that for
legend.
him. Yeah, I would sign him immediately to 1 year deal, no matter what.
And then some people that left the Spurs. Dominic Barlow signed a two-way deal with the Hawks, leaving the Spurs. Rip.
Interesting. I remember that name because similar to mine, but I don't remember like who he is. Like what position is he?
I don't know, like a wing, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. Devontae Graham,
It's a cool
who's
name.
Dominic Barlow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you said Devontae Graham. I was like, I like Devontae Graham because that's a good name too.
Yeah.
But so he signed a 1 year deal with the Blazers, leaving the Spurs, which I find interesting.
Yeah. You got Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp, Devontae Graham, legend.
Yeah, so I guess who am I benching? Shaden Sharp for sure. Yeah, so maybe
It's
they
like,
just have him there for like the full court heaves to win
mm,
games
there you go. He-
because he's had like one or two, right? I feel
Yeah,
like
on the
he's
Hornets. Everyone on the Hornets is full
yeah,
court
but
even.
he also had one on the Pelicans, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right. I believe he did
Yeah,
have one on the Pelicans as well.
yeah. So yeah, I yeah, this is some Spurs stuff. That's
There's some
basically
Spurs stuff. Other bad teams. Anthony Gill re-signed a deal to the Wizards. Yay.
yeah. Killian Hayes,
Legend. Pistons legend. There you
fan
go.
favorite, signed a 1 year deal with the Nets. So
Yeah.
where was he? He just was just
He
straight up
got waived
waived.
by the Pistons
Right.
and
Yeah. So he didn't
that
even
was
like
it.
get traded or anything.
He was
Yeah.
gone. Former
Wow.
seventh overall pick. 5 picks before Tyrese Halliburton. Um,
We don't talk about
Never forget.
that.
Legend. I just saw this guy's name when I was looking for this Zoom link because it's in the Zoom link email that you sent me. Zvi Mikhailuk signed a 4-year, $15 million deal with the Jazz, leaving the Celtics. So he just won a championship, and now he's going over to the Jazz. I feel like the Jazz have 26 people on their roster. Like I feel like we've said so many people have went to the Jazz. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, 4 year, 15 million is a very interesting number to get at.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of a long contract
yeah,
to be locked in. I wonder if they liked him that much or they want to use it as a trade piece. It's probably that at some point, maybe.
yeah.
Um, Interesting. Luke Kennard, household name, signed a 1 year, $11 million deal with the Grizzlies. So we mentioned
He
that
declined
he
the $14 million team option to get less money.
well, it's
Yikes.
probably because at least what I would think is that the Grizzlies were like, hey, if you accept your team option, we're going to trade you. So if you want to stay here, then decline it and we'll give you a deal.
I feel like Luke
So
Kennard's been on so many teams.
Clippers. That's all I know. That's all
He
I
was on
know.
the Pistons. I think that's where he got drafted.
Oh, you're right. Okay, that I do remember. But I remember I was doing like the Purtle,
Hmm.
the NBA guessing game that we do. I'm saying
Yeah,
that for the listeners.
yeah, I
I
remember.
know you know what it is.
No, I don't know.
And I remember I like used him as a guess because I thought he was way younger, but he's like 30 or something.
Somehow.
Yeah, he's like in like early 30s. That's crazy. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Love that. Spurs legend.
Yeah, getting on to some Pacer things. Cole Swider signed a 1-year non-guaranteed deal, leaving the Heat.
Lakers legend. Um, yeah, he was at the Lakers. You remember that?
Barely, barely.
Yeah. James Johnson, King,
Legend.
legend, Mavericks legend, signed a 1 year,
Mavericks
$3.3
legend.
million dollar deal to return to the Pacers. So,
The enforcer is
he's
back.
the man on the bench who will just drop kick you if you touch Tyrese Halliburton. Um, he's back. He's back. Better than ever.
Don't talk to me or my wife unless your name is James Johnson.
It's so funny because James Johnson is such a generic name. And isn't James Johnson like one of the isn't that name he's somebody for the Suns, right? Not a coach, like the
James
owner?
Jones,
James Jones. Dang, okay,
former
never mind.
player too.
Okay. Well, there's a James Johnson out there who owns a Suns somewhere.
Andrew Nimhard and the Pacers agreed to a 3-year, $59 million extension. It is the maximum allowable amount over that span for him since he was a second round pick, right at 31. So got like
Yeah.
a second year max extension, I guess, or like a second round pick max extension, basically.
Yeah, well, congrats to him. I mean, he definitely showed what he was made of in the playoffs. So I think that's great. Good for him. Happy for him.
Oh yeah,
Um, and another player who signed an extension, Jared Allen, signed a 3-year, $91 million extension that'll guarantee him $131 million over the next 5 years. That
a lot.
it's a lot of money, and I'm also
Go throw.
so confused still about the direction the Cavaliers are trying to go in,
Yeah,
you know?
they've now extended Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley.
Yeah, so it's like, so are you trying to get rid of Darius
Yeah,
Garland? But he was,
he was extended last summer. He still has like
yeah,
4 years left on his
it's just
deal.
like, so you're just gonna kind of keep it going the same. Okay. Oh, just change the coach. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Maybe they're
Okay,
gonna see what
cool.
it looks like under Kitty Atkinson, and then I guess they think maybe worst comes to worst, we'll just ship him off next off season or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, since we mentioned it, so weird that Kenny Atkinson is an assistant coach for the French national team.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. I guess I don't know if he has some like some dual citizenship going on. I have no idea.
Yeah, he got snubbed. He didn't get picked for the U.S. team. Then he got a dual citizenship for France. Said, "All right, I'm going to the other side. That's it.
And
I'm a traitor."
they had Ty Lue and Eric Spoelstra and Steve Kerr, who we'll get into a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a pretty loaded staff of the USA side.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just funny that, yeah, and also the name Kenny Atkinson's like that doesn't sound French at all,
Yeah.
So that's what I was a little confused by.
Another big extension, Lauri Markkanen signed a 5-year, $238 million extension, including $220 million in new money. And this deal was signed on August 7th. So when deals are signed, you have to wait 6 months to trade somebody. It was signed August 7th. The trade deadline is February 6th. So now Lauri Markkanen is not eligible to be traded for the entire season. So he will be on the Jazz.
That is crazy. I remember reading that. What do you think about that? I think this is the first talking thing we can discuss a little bit that we've kind of mentioned.
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know. It's like he had 1 year, 18 million left. Obviously, he wanted a big deal. He probably deserves a big deal with his play. And I guess the idea is if you have him this 1 year, you let your younger guys develop, and he's like your main guy, and then in the off season you have a 4-year contract you can trade. So like to a team that, wants to make a move in that direction. Like a lot of teams, they'll trade for the superstar that's on like a 1 year deal and then they have to extend them. But this guy's already guaranteed for 4 years, so maybe it makes it more, I don't know, like of an incentive to trade for him. It's weird. I don't know. I just wonder like if they had any shooters on his current deal. And if that I know Danny Ainge is like notoriously like, no, you need to give me 3 young players and 8 first-round picks. So um maybe he's just like, fine, I'll just keep him. You don't want him, I'll take him.
Yeah, he probably just didn't get anything that he liked, and I don't hate it for them. I like Lauri Markkanen a lot, and the Jazz are, like you said, they do have 35 players on their roster right now.
Yeah.
About 35, give or take 20. So, the fact that this guy will be there for sure all year is kind of nice to know. Like you have that kind of stability, and then you have players around him that you might move if you want to, or add into the mix. So, we'll see. It seems like he's happy there. And he's also doing very well there. So if that's what he likes, then he's still young, still has time to compete and whatnot. So I wouldn't say this year would be a wash.
Oldest player in the NBA with 0 playoff minutes.
Really? Oh yeah, I did read that too. He'll
It
get there.
was it was Zach LaVine, and then it was Buddy Hield, and now Buddy Hield played in the playoffs barely, and then now it's Lauri
Is
Markkanen.
that why they put him in? I wonder if that's why they put him
Go
in.
get some minutes. He'd never been on a team that had even made the playoffs, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy because he was on the Pelicans. I guess it was before Zion. And then he was on the Kings. But he was on the Pacers. Oh, they made the play. Anyways. Well, okay. Interesting. Well, I hope he makes the playoffs. He will at some point for sure.
One day.
Um, Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the Suns a little bit because they did quite a few things here. The Suns are trading David Roddy to the Hawks for EJ Liddell. Do I know who EJ Liddell is? No. Do I know who David Roddy is? Yes. Barely. I know what he looks like. That's about it.
Former Grizzly, former Grizzlies
Yep.
legend.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember he looks like a tight end. That's about it.
yeah, he's a big guy. Um,
Yeah,
EJ Liddell, I believe, was like second round pick, tore his ACL, didn't play. So
got it.
young guy,
Um, what position? What do you think of the idea behind it is? Like, why would they do this?
no idea, no clue.
Okay. Okay,
I'm not
cool.
sure.
Tell
Another
me about
thing
a
they did,
Rockets legend. Yeah.
yeah, they signed Ty Washington to a two-way deal. So he'll be leaving the Bucks. I liked Ty a lot in Houston. I wish he had more run here, but
Yeah.
wish him the best.
Instead of playing KPJ, you could have played him.
Yeah. Well,
Or Josh Christopher or anyone else,
or
honestly.
yeah,
Literally anyone else.
not
Uh,
Dacian Nix. He's not there anymore either, though.
yeah, I forgot he was a player. I just remember seeing his jersey on the rack, on like the sale rack. I was like, who is Nix? I don't even remember who Nix was. Um, so this signing, I think, is an underrated signing.
Yeah,
But it's very good. Tyus Jones signed a 1 year deal with the Suns, leaving the Wizards. Um, he's on a minimum. Pretty sure he signed a minimum with them.
yeah, I think so.
And obviously, he's a player that could earn more, but it seems like he wanted to be on a team that's competing, wants to be a starter. We know that for sure because he was behind John Morant in Memphis, and he left because he wanted to be a starter, and
Yeah,
he was in Washington.
he talked to ESPN about that. It was like, yeah, they're gonna make me a starter. So what I think now is who is Bradley Beal coming off the bench?
Wait,
You got
what's? Oh yeah, so okay. So we got you're starting Tyus Jones, Devin Booker,
Devin Booker,
Bradley Beal.
not Bradley Beal. How can you start Bradley Beal and Devin Booker and
Why
Tyus
can't you?
Jones?
Why not?
They're all 6'4" guards and under.
You can run that. You can run a 3 guard lineup.
I'm
I'm
thinking
not
they
suggesting.
might throw Beal off the bench. I don't know.
Look, I'm just like talking about like the best players on the team, right? Your starting lineup, right? So it's like
Grayson Allen.
Tyus Jones. Yeah, that he would be better than Bradley Beal because he gets space better. I don't hate Bradley Beal coming off the bench. I don't. I
Kevin Durant at the four, Nurkic at the five.
Yeah, I mean that's. But it's so interesting to me that like he chose to go there because does he really think they're the ones that are going to be competing? Like could have
Maybe
went.
I mean, maybe he's the guy to help. They didn't have any playmaking, so now they have that, which they did not have at all last year.
Yeah, they that will
Royce
help.
O'Neal, maybe he'll start.
Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones, Nurkic, and
Josh Okogie,
EJ Liddell. Josh Okogie. That's your
Nas-
starting lineup.
Nasir
Um,
Little,
oh my God, I forgot he's there. Damian Lee, who's just chilling on the bench the whole time. Uh,
Bol
um,
Bol.
just naming Suns players that get no minutes. So funny. I just wish he went to the Lakers, a better team.
Don't you wish that for everyone? Yeah, great
Yeah, but
signing for the Suns though.
yeah, great signing for the Suns. Wouldn't have made sense in the Lakers, so I'm just kidding about that. But um, yeah, I like this for the Suns. This will definitely help them out quite a bit.
Hmm.
And he's also very he doesn't miss games. Like he's not doesn't get injured. He's a very
Yeah,
good reliable player. So that's going to be good because Suns have issues with that sometimes. So that'll be good for them. I'm happy for him to be not on the Wizards anymore because he's a good player. I like him quite a bit.
yeah, I agree. Last thing about the Suns, James Posey is joining their coaching staff as an assistant coach. He had a 12-year playing career and previously coached on the Wizards and Cavs. So cool.
Yeah, was he an assistant coach for the Wizards and Cavs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know this. Okay, cool. Cool. Do you want to take this next one? So I talk about the last one.
Sure. I will take Tom Thibodeau. I always think about Doug Dimmadome when I say Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
And the New York Knicks have agreed on a 3-year extension that'll take him through the 2028 season. So, he's had some success in New York. They had a decent second round playoff berth last year. Their whole team fell apart. Now they have Mikal Bridges. We'll see.
Yeah,
Exciting. I'm excited for the Knicks.
yeah. I think they might be the team in the East I'm most excited to watch
Hmm.
next year, just because um, it's nice to see players that like to play with each other playing, and then also I really like OG Anunoby as well. So
A good boy.
I think they're just putting a good team together over there, so that'll be good. Also watching their home games is just so wild because Madison Square Garden really does get crazy.
Celebrity Row.
Yeah. This and the last kind of news that we have, off-season news before we get to the Olympics. So
I didn't think.
the Kobe Bryant's second statue has been revealed.
Mm.
So they announced back in February that they would have three statues. One of Kobe, one of him and Gigi, and then the third one to be with him as a number 24. I think that was him as number 8, and then him and his daughter, and then number 24, I think will be the last one. And the statue is of him and his daughter sitting courtside. It's they would go to Lakers games together, and I think he's wearing the WNBA sweatshirt. Like there was a kind of it's a viral picture of them at a
Hmm.
game. Yeah, and I think it's a sweet statue. I liked that it captured these are capturing moments from like his life, not just like, hey, it's both of them in their basketball gear, like he's passing it to her, you know what I mean? Like it's like it's something that happened. They were did go to games together and
Surrounded by wings
whatnot.
as well.
Surrounded by wings, and um the
Flowers and
wings a
such.
little bit like flourishing is, a bit much, but I get it, and I respect it very much. I know there's been some negative comments about it because they don't look like them,
Mm.
really. And one second, I'm not choking up. I just need to cough real quick. If you want to talk about your thoughts real quick.
Sure, I'll talk about my thoughts while you're dying. Yeah, I like this statue. I mean, I think it's pretty well done. Like, I think, I'm not gonna sit here and overanalyze and compare a side by side picture of them to the statue and be like, oh, they got this and this wrong. But I could look at it and be like, oh, that's Kobe and his daughter, and I
Right.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I don't. Yeah, statues are hard anyways to get the likeness, and sometimes it's kind of weird if it's too similar. So the thing is, you know who it is.
yeah,
So that's all I care about.
I like
And
that they're, just in their street clothes. I like that they're
yeah,
in a happy pose together.
yeah,
Uh,
and
I think
it's
it's good. I like it
yeah,
a lot.
celebrating basketball. And yeah, I the plaque is a little weird to me because it says like Kobe Bryant, like something like ultimate girl dad or something, and I was like, we could have said that in a better way, but
Ultimate girl dad.
something like that. I'll find the plaque and I can.
Yeah, I saw another picture of it. I just threw on like the first picture I saw on here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that you're not, no one is gonna read the plaque as much as looking at it. But yeah, it's a great statue. It's beautiful. I'm glad that they are doing that, paying homage to a great player and um, his daughter. So it's
I
cool.
like it more than the first statue.
I
Hopefully, it
just
doesn't
wish
have
the
any misspellings.
yeah, we'll find out. I just wish the first statue was a better pose,
Mhm.
obviously, but that's the one he wanted. So
Ready to start a dance number on that one.
and it's like, hey, 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 hey. But yeah, shall we transition to some Olympic news?
Olympia. Yeah, let's do it. I want to talk about first in the exhibition games. Nothing too crazy to really talk about, but worth mentioning that after USA's narrow victory, very close victory over South Sudan. Former NBA stars Paul Pierce and Gilbert Arenas kind of made some ignorant comments. Paul Pierce said something. He said, "Man, they probably hadn't got anyone over 6'3". Now we've got South Sudan. They should just put Lithuania in." He said on his show on Undisputed, which, shout out to Lithuania, but uh, that didn't sound good. And then Gilbert Arenas, meanwhile, laughed, saying, "We almost lost to some Africans." Oh, that's not good.
I read that, I was like, are you kidding me? Like it's so dumb. It's like
Uh,
people listen to you and you say like ignorant stuff like this is crazy.
yeah, I've never liked Gilbert Arena. We've talked about his takes on this
Yeah, I
podcast a
know, it's
couple
wild.
times, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're never good. He was the guest on the Numbers of the Board podcast in Vegas this year, Summer
Was he
League.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
God. I didn't see
So
that.
thank God we weren't there. And yeah, so a couple of contextual information. South Sudan, youngest nation in the world, established in 2011. Luol Deng, of course, former player for the Bulls, Lakers. He took the comments personally. He's been the president of the South Sudanese Basketball Federation since 2019. He had a very long response that I'm not going to read the entirety of because it is long, but if you want to look it up, look it up. Uh, but it's a great response. I mean, it
Yeah,
is poised, it is professional, it is delivered expertly. It's not even like mean. He just says like basically, y'all are great players. I wish that you would have a better image for these young, black men that are watching you and like paying attention to you. We're gonna go out there and do our thing. That's pretty much it.
yeah.
But it's a great response. Um, and then afterwards, Gilbert Arenas came out saying, I respected you as a player and Will as a coach. And then in parentheses, sorry for my disrespectful comments. It's like, okay.
Parentheses are funny. And so Paul Pierce is silent. That's interesting.
Paul Pierce, it's like I liked him as a player, and the more he speaks, the less I like him. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was never a big fan of the Celtics or anyone, of Paul Pierce. I know he's a great player, but I never was like, I have to watch him, but I always respected him, but now I don't know, I've seen and heard some like weird stuff about um, him and the things he says and does. So weird, but I'm glad that, Luol Deng cleared the air and, I mean,
You really
Sa-
should look it up. It's a great response.
it's a really good response. And
My
also
respect
like,
for him climbed for sure.
yeah, and also, I mean, South Sudan playing their heart out like that just shows that how good they are. Like I don't think it should looking at it, it should be looked at not like, man, the USA is so bad. It should be looked at, wow, South Sudan is so good. You know what I
Right.
mean? To kind of keep up with the LeBron James, the Kevin Durants and stuff. So, that's how you should be looking at stuff like that, not like negatively. So
Yeah, of
but yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I didn't even know that happened. So thank you for talking about that. Um,
course.
so going into the Olympics, the group stage was relatively uneventful. Everyone we thought was going to advanced to the next stage. I think Spain was like the only kind of bigger name that didn't advance. They don't really have, they don't have Ricky Rubio anymore. So, I mean, what
No
chance do you have?
Gasols.
No Gasols. So,
I don't know if
um,
Hernan Gomez has played or not. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but yeah, group stage everyone advanced that we expected. Serbia, USA, Germany, France, um,
Canada, Australia.
Australia, Canada. Yeah. Um, but yeah, anything you wanted to say about the group stage?
Yeah, two things I took away from USA's games. The first one is that I really don't like watching Joel Embiid play basketball. I mean, FIBA rules are a little different, FIBA refs are a little different, but the guy was still trying to flop around, and I mean, he's huge. He's like 7'1". He's playing against, countries with not as large of people typically. And he's just falling around on the ground like an idiot, and doing the thing where he like tries to rile up the crowd. He could have played for the French team, but he didn't. He played for the U.S. team, so he's kept getting booed, and he kept being like, "Yes, come on," and it was just annoying. So I didn't like that. And then the other thing that happened that was worth noting, and this is not only in the group stage, but really throughout the entire Olympics, Jason Tatum, who is the best player on the Celtics, most people would say, um, and probably a top 10-ish player in the NBA, probably, right? He's
Yeah.
usually right there in the back half of the MVP ballot, just not getting played in the Olympics in many games, which was kind of strange. Um, I saw a funny post that someone said Steve Kerr is standing in solidarity with Jaylen Brown.
That's funny. Um,
But
that's so funny because he opted Derek White, like for sure he
yeah,
wanted. So that's so funny to me.
yeah, it's
Anyways.
just how does this guy who is a big wing, which I feel like is, the most valuable position in basketball. And I get there's LeBron and KD, but he just like wasn't seeing the floor at all, even when we were blowing teams out and stuff. It was strange. Um,
I do find it a bit interesting, especially when you have a roster so loaded. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton didn't play at all.
he
I
didn't
didn't see
play
him
in the
play
Olympics a single time. He
a
didn't
single.
touch the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's one of the best point guards right now in the league, I think. So,
He posted
um,
a picture after they won the gold medal, and he said, when you don't do anything in the group project and still get an A."
that's why we love Tyrese Halliburton. Because we've all been there. Although I used to do all the stuff in the group project. Anyways,
Me
uh,
too.
did you watch the other games? Because Tatum did play here and there, but he didn't really do a lot, is the thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if he was like skittish because he was like, oh man, I don't know when I'm going to be pulled in, pulled out, or how
Yeah.
much time I'm going to get. So I don't judge him too hard on this, but it is interesting to note that Derek White played quite a bit for what I saw.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't play at
definitely
all in the
compared to
last game.
him. Yeah, I just don't think he matched up with him, I guess. But
Mhm.
anyway, so on to the quarterfinals. This is where things got very interesting because I really expected things to go differently. France beat Australia,
Mm.
which I,
France, who was 0-4 in the exhibition stage.
yeah, France is a fine team. Like they're okay. Um, when your best player is some French people would argue Evan Fournier, you cannot be you're not up there with some of these other teams. Like Australia, I think at least has a pretty good core. Like they have a good like couple of young players that have been there before. They have experience and whatnot. But yeah, France. It was a very close game, and actually Evan Fournier was the savior. He was the one that I think he pushed. He either made the shot to push to OT or the game to like or the game winning shot. I can't remember, but yeah, it was interesting. But things happen. Congrats to France. That's why, that's why people love March Madness. People love the Olympics, World Cup.
Mhm.
It's like one game. You
Right.
have one game. But this one was more surprising, Germany beating Canada, because Canada has Shea, Jamal Murray, um, RJ Barrett. Actually, I don't know if Jamal Murray played this
Yeah,
year.
I was wondering if he played or not.
I
I don't
don't think
remember.
it was, well, definitely
Dwight
Shea,
Powell.
Dwight Powell, um, Dylan Brooks. I mean, come on. Like
Oh yeah,
they
Dylan
just
Brooks.
the
I don't
RJ.
think Wiggins wasn't allowed to play, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. RJ Barrett was going off in the group stage. He was like the best player in the Olympics for the group stage. Had the highest points per game, rebound, not rebounds, but points per game, and like highest point plus like differential,
Mhm.
plus minus differential. And yeah, Germany beat them. Dennis Schroeder and the Wagner brothers, I guess, just kind of beat them, tired him out. So that was surprising to see. But
Magnus.
but but Germany did win the World Cup of basketball last year,
Yeah.
so they had some confidence going into this. So yeah, and that set up the semifinals. Is France and Germany, and then USA and Serbia. Um, and did you watch these games?
I watched I did not watch the France and Germany one. I did watch USA Serbia.
Okay.
Um yeah.
I I watched the second half of France and Germany, and what was basically it's almost like a cheat code to have home court advantage because the French crowd was going crazy the entire time. Even the gold medal game, I'm sure you noticed, like it was just a really loud arena in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, Germany just they were kind of down most of the game, and then France when they got hot were just the crowd when the crowd got into it, then there was just no turning back and. It was kind of game over. They tried to get it close, and they did a few times, but there were some costly turnovers and whatnot. And they don't really have that guy either. They don't have like a superstar on the German team. Daniel Tice did his best, but he just couldn't um, lead
Yeah,
them to the gold medal game. So but it was cool to see a young player like Wemby in the gold medal playing for a gold medal. That was cool. And then it was also the first time since 1996 that the host country will play for the gold medal, and that was last time was the U.S. in Atlanta. So I thought that was an interesting
and
fact.
it'll be US next year. Next
Yeah,
4 years, not next year.
yeah, yeah. The next Olympics, right?
LA. You gotta go to the LA Olympics, huh? That'll be
Oh,
crazy.
there's Lithuania. They have to qualify.
Uh,
They have to. They have to. At least I'll go to the group games. I don't know if they'll make it past that,
You'll be a
but
traitor. You'll be rooting for Lithuania
and then I'll root
in
for
America.
and then they'll lose, and then I'll root for USA. It's
Yeah, that's
perfect.
that's fair.
And then yeah, so the USA beat Serbia, but this game was they were losing the whole game,
Hmm.
basically. They were down by 17 at one point in
Yeah.
like the third quarter, and they got it to like 11 by the fourth quarter. And
Bogdan, man. That guy was a
it
killer.
was, did you see him like he like made a three? I loved he it seemed like he had some personal vendetta against Carmelo Anthony because he was doing like
Mm.
the three thing right at Carmelo, and he's like, why are you doing it to me? I'm not even playing. Which I thought was so funny. But
I love the international players, how passionate they go when they're playing for their home countries.
I that is the highlight for sure. Definitely you don't really see that here. Like I mentioned, like Lithuania, like if they were if the Lithuania was in the Olympics, not even kidding, every single person in the country would be watching that game.
The
They would
country,
find a
yeah,
way to, you know
you'd
what I
be
mean?
walking around the streets and it'd be everyone losing their mind.
I was in public during the gold medal game. I had to take my guitar to a guitar shop,
Hmm.
and no one everyone could have cared less that there was a game happening right
Yeah.
on in that moment. I was watching on my phone. I was in line. I was like, I'm not. I was in the car listening. Then I was like on my, I'm like walking in the parking lot with it, like listening. I was like, there's no way I'm missing this like game. So, um, very interesting the differences. But yeah, the U.S. eventually they were able to beat Serbia thanks to some late game heroics from LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry.
The old guard.
The old guard. They scored USA's last 13 points. Steph ended the game with 36 points, which is 1 point shy of tying Carmelo Anthony's record for the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts about
He,
that game?
he had not really played super well in the group stage and the quarterfinals. So to see him turn up in the semifinals, and we'll get into the finals here in a bit, was nice to see for his first and likely his only Olympics. Um, so yeah, that was really cool. I mentioned Bogdan; he was awesome. I thought he was good. Serbia had a couple other guys that they're just shooting lights out. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a reason they had a big lead for most of this game. I was watching it at work, of course, because it's like 2 p.m. or something my time when the game is on.
Right.
So we just had it on in the TV, in our homework cafe area, and I was just like sitting in there watching it. Um, and yeah, I mean they were just shooting and shooting and shooting,
And making
and
it. That was
yeah,
the thing. Yeah.
and Jokic was doing his thing. He was, I mean, just bullying Embiid again, and as he does, um, and finding the right player, finding the guy that was open to shoot, which is what he does best in the NBA. So no surprise there. I noticed a little bit of like, and this was a theme for what I watched throughout the playoffs. I feel like USA was often the beneficiary of foul calls. Like they were allowed to be more physical and draw more fouls, but wouldn't get fouls called on the other end. Serbia got like noticeably upset about that during this game. I think they got a tech
Yeah.
for it.
Early in the game, they did.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was, and then they actually looked back. He got the tech. The coach got the tech actually, and then they looked at it, and it was actually the right. What he was complaining about was correct. It was like
right.
wasn't a foul. Yeah, so or it was or something. It was something like that. But yeah,
Yeah, it was a fun game. I was worried. I was like, uh-oh.
I was at work. I was at work sweating, and but the thing is, like down the stretch when like LeBron was doing his thing, KD, Steph, when they were making these shots to get it closer, I was like at my standing desk at work. I'm like typing, watching, and then they do something. I'm like throwing punches. I'm like, let's go. I was
LeBron
just
driving to the basket, one side of the court to
doing
the
the
hit. Yeah,
doing the shoulder,
doing the
dude.
little strong thing.
Dude.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like some moments in the Olympics, like I just get chills.
his
Like it's
fucking
so funny because like
gray beard.
yeah, LeBron does that against the Wizards in the NBA. I'm like, okay, brother. Okay, you push Jordan Poole down to the ground. But this is like you're just like trying to win, make it to the gold medal. And like to me it's and then you can pass the ball to Steph Curry, like Kevin Durant, like just
Yeah,
so many like cool things. Like, the best players all in one team is insane. Um,
especially Derek White.
Especially Derek White, who got more playing time than Tatum. Um, I think the biggest uh the player at least that I noticed was making a huge impact and I thought was doing really good in the games I watched for Team USA that I didn't expect was Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday was so good.
So good. Like
I
I didn't see
mean,
him make any mistakes.
yeah, all
Like
all Olympics. Yeah,
yeah, in the gold medal game there was a call that I didn't agree with about like an offensive foul, but regardless, like that's the only thing I saw him they kind of slipped up. Like Steph Curry had like 5 turnovers in the gold medal game.
Yeah,
LeBron turns the ball over. KD couldn't make some shots, but Drew Holiday was very solid defensively. He made like the threes he did take, he didn't make them. So
yeah.
that was the one that stood out to me the most. But he didn't get the glory.
He is the grit of the USA basketball team for sure. He was awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bam was awesome when he was out there. He didn't get as much playing time because Embiid and AD was really good as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
The entire Olympics. So, but I liked when he was out there as well. Booker, forgettable. Anthony Edwards didn't play as much in the gold medal game. He was struggling.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Devin Booker, which I agree, he's kind of forgettable, but what I thought was wild is he also was a player that surprised me because he was playing really good defense.
Yeah, he was kind
Um,
of a dirty work guy.
yeah, he locked in on that, and then on offense, he's like give it to Steph, give it to like KD, LeBron, whatever. But
Mhm.
then defense, he's like, I'll do what I need to. So like, I respect that. Like he's a player that we've talked about, like not like the biggest fans of by any means, but I can respect that from his game, and he definitely got some. See, he went up a few notches for me. He's at 0, so he's got a way to go, but he kind of worked his way up, and Anthony Edwards, like you said, like didn't play as much, and I think that was fine. I think he has a bigger role to play in the future, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I think
Um,
he struggled adjusting, like you just mentioned with Devin Booker kind
yeah,
of taking a back seat. I think Anthony Edwards just so like, I want to be that guy. And then he just
for
like
sure.
couldn't adjust to
And he's
playing with all
young,
the other
yeah.
superstars.
For sure. Like the younger guys had the harder time like adjusting. I mean like Tatum too. Like, you don't play with players of that caliber that often
Right.
when you're the best guy on your team. So they're not bad players by any means. It just wasn't right for them. And I mean, Steph, LeBron, KD, they've all played with the greats and it's not their first, well, it's Steph's first time, but um they know what they're doing. They know what they need to do. So let's talk about the finals real
Yeah.
quick. So just to get out the way, bronze medal, Jokic and Bogdan just um they beat Germany. Pretty not like easily, but it was very obvious to see Jokic was the best player on the court, and the best player on the court uh, is going to usually whatever team that guy is on, usually going to win. So
Yeah.
happy for Serbia winning the
Saw a video
bronze.
of them on the bus after they were hype. You see that video?
Yeah, I saw
Oh.
also the comment is like Jokic is more hyped to get bronze for his country than NBA championship.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like people
And
shouldn't criticize him for that.
no, I also agree. Like, I think it's funny for sure, but the thing is like, okay, who do I love more, the country of Serbia or Denver? It's like I do love Denver, but uh, you know, it's different for your country. It's just different.
Especially because Serbia, not a country that we're typically having medal in basketball.
hmm hmm
It's just because he is that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. It means a lot coming from a
It's like
country that,
he's bringing it to his country. Like I brought you this bronze medal. It's kind of cool.
yeah, especially being the guy responsible is a pretty cool feeling. But it sucks for Germany. They did really well last year. It just wasn't their year this year, but they have good young players and they'll be fine. But let's talk about USA and France. You want to tell me a little bit so I
What a
can rest
game!
my voice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been a while. You've been talking a while here. Yeah, what a game! Watched it start to finish. It was awesome. Again, looked like USA was struggling a lot of this game. Down for most of it, even if just by a little bit. At times France would pull away, 8, 10, 12, things like that. Um, and I was pacing around in the homework cafe watching this game. Wemby was awesome. Game high 26 points. He's like 19, so we'll have to deal with that for a while. But he was really cool in the game, and he had kind of struggled the previous games on offense at least. So it was nice to see his offense kind of come to fruition. He's always going to be a monster on defense, especially with the FIBA rules of you can touch the ball in the rim. He's just like, yeah, let me grab that real quick and dunk it in real quick. Let me take that rebound.
Yeah, I noticed that, and also even you mentioned Anthony Davis earlier. Like he did that. I saw a few times, so
Yeah.
it's a wild rule for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird rule. Don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it. We mentioned Evan Fournier. He struggled in this final game. He didn't score for a while. Also, I don't know his first name, but they have a guy named Cornier.
Yep, yep.
And he was really good in the semifinal game. He didn't score like this whole game either. So both of their kind of primary scoring guards kind of struggled. Who did not struggle? Gershon Yabusele, former Celtic legend, ganned on LeBron, absolutely destroyed him. Called for a blocking foul in the process. So 3-point play for Gershon. Highlight of his career, I'm sure. I dunked on LeBron in the gold medal game. And he
And then
got
I
called
got
for a foul.
silver.
I mean that was pretty cool. He was pretty good all game. Yeah, they were doing, good team basketball.
Yeah.
Um, very passionate. Uh, Wemby and Rudy Gobert as the double bigs was not out there a lot, but I feel like when one of them were out there, it was definitely a problem. Rudy Gobert screen setting, just absolutely destroying and getting their guys open for shots, and that was a big problem for us too.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed also with Rudy and Wemby on the floor, like they would do the switches, and US just didn't have like big enough guys to like
yeah.
it would end up like Rudy on KD on Rudy, and it's like, well, okay, he's not gonna be he's gonna back him down, and like or be like LeBron on Wemby. It's like,
Yeah, I
you do what you
texted you like, why do
can,
they
but
got Rudy playing like Hakeem?
yeah,
Because
no, it was
he would
I
get
saw
like
he was
Drew
seeking,
Holiday or
yeah.
Derek White or something, and he was just dunking on him. And I'm like,
It's like
okay.
that was crazy.
The
It was blowing my
Wemby
mind.
as the ball handler and Rudy as the screener is nuts.
That
Like,
is scary. That
uh,
terrifies me.
so I'm sure France, with Wemby will be, a threat for years
Oh,
to
for
come.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Um, We'll see. And then on the American side, you mentioned Tatum actually did get to play, not a ton in this game, but he didn't do much. Anthony Edwards hounding, was it Fournier? He was hounding him on defense, picked his pocket a couple times. Otherwise, his,
yeah. I
his
love
offense
that.
wasn't really
Yeah,
there. But it was the old guys again. It was Steph, LeBron, and KD were kind of the big three. Steph really put them to rest in the fourth corner, just hitting
dude.
absolutely a three after I have never felt as patriotic as when I was watching Steph Curry hit these threes, and I'm like, yes, America, let's go. And then the last one, I mean, man, he was. I saw a picture, and Steph Curry is double teamed, and LeBron is wide open on the three, and then KD is also wide open for a three, and he takes the three over two defenders and drills it, and then does the good night to the French crowd who's freaking out.
Yeah,
His first Olympics, yeah, he had crazy semifinal game, and now this crazy finals game, he had like eight threes or something like that.
yeah,
And it was just like, the FIBA three is shortened, so his range is already pretty much limitless. So it didn't really matter who was defending him, and it was awesome to watch. And of course, LeBron ended up winning MVP for the tournament, which was nice to see. At 39 years old, we talked about this last pod. Still seems like a lot of deferring to LeBron, but everyone's like, "Yeah, LeBron, like take us
isn't
home."
that crazy? Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't think it was gonna be that much of deferring. Even like the exhibition, like they deferred to him like for the game winning shots and um. But yeah, the Steph Curry, like I I was in line at this guitar shop, and he does that double shot, and I I like choke down a scream. Like I cannot. Well. I can't imagine like that feeling I felt, or I can't describe it. It was just
Yeah,
so just like visceral, and like I was like, that's it, we won. Like that is, and you said it also perfectly. Like, man, I wish I was a fan of him. Like his in his career, and I get that too. Like I
yeah, I texted
wasn't.
you that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It's just nice to be able to root for him
Yeah.
in the setting.
I think I
And
said something like, I wish I didn't hate the Warriors all the
yeah,
time.
and exactly, it's not even him. It's like if you're a player that revolutionizes the game, not everyone's gonna like you, and that's fine. But I like him as a person. He's a cool guy, and not
Yeah.
and whatnot, and what he's done for the game. Like now, looking back, I can respect it and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I never root for the Warriors. It's just not. They've won too much recently, so.
His
Um,
release is so insanely fast.
Dude, I remember
I
seeing
don't get
one.
it.
It was just like he like touched. It was like a touch pass. He just has it up. Um, but yeah, that was that. I also loved at the end just kind of seeing these like three LeBron, KD, and Steph specifically just coming together and like we did it like all together. Just like he's screaming at each other, like that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about the gold medal game without this is a little bit of a backtrack without talking about Kevin Durant alley-ooping it to Anthony Edwards. Like,
Oh
what a
yeah.
cool moment.
Yeah.
Like,
Great moment.
man, I got chills. Like, that was so cool.
His mentor,
Um,
his not his
his
mentor,
mentor, his
his favorite
idol,
player. Yeah.
yeah, his favorite player of all time, giving you an alley-oop in a gold medal game is just insane. And then you get subbed out. You're like, okay, you got what you needed. Get out of the game. Um, but yeah, Kevin Durant mentioned as well. So he became the first and only player to win four gold medals in basketball. Crazy.
Hmm.
And also he's the all-time leading scorer in the Olympics for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
He became that this time. So um, very cool. It was a great game. Honestly, if you haven't watched it,
It was a good game. I'm glad it
I
wasn't
highly,
like a blowout.
yeah, I highly recommend watching it. It wasn't a blowout; it was very close, and you really get to see what these players are made of down the stretch. Even France, like, should be very proud. Like the silver medal was very well earned and hard fought. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
similar, I definitely didn't pay as much attention to it. But similarly, the women played and went down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
USA
Mm-hmm.
barely won the gold medal on the women's side as well. It was a low scoring game. I think it was like very close. Like it was tied at the end of the first. At halftime, it was like really close. Third quarter, I think USA was actually down. And then fourth quarter, yeah, it was back and forth game. So
Yeah. Final score was 67-66.
yeah,
And I don't know if you'll see the last shot.
I sure didn't.
So the last shot, it was France had like 2 seconds left. They inbounded the
Oh,
ball.
I did see this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Never
they
mind.
and she shot it and she made it, but her entire foot was over the line, but she was trying to shoot a three, but she just didn't gauge where it was and she banked it in, but it was
Uh,
a two, so it didn't go to overtime. And
yeah,
they looked at it just to double check, and it's very obvious, like it's literally like goes through in the middle of her foot, so it's not like a toe
yeah.
or anything, not like a KD on the net shot. It's like very obvious,
That's a
but
tragic way to lose a gold medal right there.
yeah, you just back a couple inches, you probably still would have made it. So that's what's crazy. But yeah, congrats to the women's team too.
But yeah,
I
they
think
didn't really have
eight.
time. It was like 1 second left buzzer
Yeah,
beater, like throw up. Like it was. Yeah, it's not like she set her feet the wrong way.
yeah, and reminded me a lot of like the Luka Doncic like layup, kind of leaning from inside the 3 point. You know,
Hmm.
remember that shot?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like that. But yeah, I believe I read this. I'm pretty sure this
Eight
is
straight.
eight straight. I was just about
Yeah,
to say that. Yeah, eight straight gold medals for the U.S. women's Olympic team. So very, very happy for them as well. Very cool.
they have not lost in our lifetime. That's wild. You muted yourself.
That is a crazy stat. Yeah, because I'm about to cough, dude.
Oh. Okay. Well, our last exercise for the day that I thought would be fun to do, and hopefully won't take us too long. I think we're running just about a little over an hour right now, so we're making good time.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to go through with you an exercise to try to predict the 2028 U.S. Olympic basketball team. And
Okay.
I've done this by having three categories. So I have a category that says cuts, in which I've already placed five people in, and I'll get to who those are. I have a category that says locks, in which I also have five people in, and I'll get to those. And then I have a category that says pool, and there's 26 players in it.
Lord have
Uh,
mercy. Okay.
so I went through basically how I did this is I went through the Ringers top 100 list, and just like looked at the players, and of course 2028, 4 years from now, that's the biggest thing I took into account. How older people,
Yeah.
how are they going to grow as players, and how will they be? So a lot of these guys that I'll have in the pool are probably on the younger side, and it's like you could see them shooting up to that Olympic thing. And then I have also the official team on like the right side of after we kind of discuss, who all 10
Yeah.
win. Um, so let's get
Cool.
into it.
I'm ready.
For
I have some
cuts,
pe
yeah,
Okay, you go.
for cuts, I have LeBron James, who is currently 39. I don't think he will play in the Olympics when he's 43. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say he's probably done. I have Steph Curry. He said that this would be the only Olympics he plays in. So
Yeah.
I think that one's pretty much guaranteed. He's 36 currently, so he'd be 40. I had Drew Holiday as a cut because he's 34. Drew Holiday doesn't feel that old, but he's 34 already.
Yeah.
So 38-year-old Drew Holiday, I don't know. I don't know if he's one of those guys that's like, a surefire lock, you know. So that's why I have him there. I have Derek White listed as a cut because he's 29. He'll be 33. I just don't think I don't think it'll, this was
He's
his
not
time.
gonna get, yeah, this exactly. This was his time, and it's great that he was there, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring him back. And then my last cut I have listed here is Jaylen Brown. I think after what Jaylen Brown did with the public thing, criticizing the Olympic team, criticizing Nike, criticizing Grant Hill, who was like an Olympic committee guy, I just don't think they'll put him on there. I think he like I think he shot himself in the foot, you know.
That's so interesting because I'm writing down players I'm thinking of, like just in case, I know you'll have them, but I just wrote him down, literally.
I just
It's
don't
like,
you know what I'm saying though? Like
no, I know, I get it, I get it. It's very political sometimes.
yeah,
Like
I
it's
feel
it's
like
not
he
just about
ruined his
basketball.
own chance in the future.
Yeah, it's in the moment, it feels good to do that for yourself, but it really doesn't service
I mean, I don't
anybody.
blame him. I don't blame him at all. Um,
Sometimes things like that should be more private than,
yeah,
posting about it. But
and I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for him to be on this team
yeah,
for
I think
4 years.
so. I don't think it should matter that much, but I get it. I understand why you put him there. That's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
any disagreements with any of those? Any guys that you're like,
No, no, no,
I
no,
could
no.
see them. Okay,
Well, you didn't have Kevin Durant as a cut.
I'll get there.
Okay.
Um, locks. These are the five guys that I think are absolute locks for the 2028 Olympic team.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards, he's 22. He'll be 26. I think he'll be there.
Prime. Yeah.
Devin Booker, he's 27. He'll be 31. So I think he'll probably be there.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, he'll be 30. So he'll probably be good still. Jason Tatum, who will be 30 as well. And then Halliburton, who
Yeah.
is only 24, so he'll be 28. So I think those five guys are surefire. Like they were just in the Olympics. They'll probably be better than they are now for the most
Yeah.
part. Um, and they're I feel like every time you have to have guys who are on the team already. You can't bring in 12 new guys.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
like I feel like this makes sense.
Yeah. Um, Starting lineup, you think?
I was looking at it. It kind of is almost like a starting lineup. I mean, you have a one, two shooting guards, and then Tatum is a wing and Bam's a center. It
Yeah,
could
it's
be
not
a
bad.
starting
Yeah.
lineup, but
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. Now let's get to the pool. My pool of players.
Okay. Are we gonna go through each one or
You want me to read the whole list first,
no,
or
I don't know how you want to do it. I mean, do
yeah,
I
it's a good question. Let's do the three guys on the Olympic team I haven't mentioned
Okay.
first
Let's talk about
because
that.
I didn't know. So I have Kevin Durant in the pool.
Okay.
Kevin Durant is 35. He'll be 39. That's the age LeBron was at this Olympics. Kevin Durant has had his share of, leg injuries and stuff like that. I do think his game translates. Like it's not like LeBron is 39, he's bullying people at the rim. I feel like,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, he's going to be shooting his mid-range jumpers. He's going to be
Yeah.
doing stuff that doesn't require that much like athleticism. Um, and he's the four-time gold medalist. Maybe he wants to make it five. Maybe he
Yeah.
wants to, really rein it in. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I could also just see him being like, yeah, this was a good last ride. So I don't know. What do you think?
I could see him being there. I didn't know he was 35. I thought he was like 38, honestly. I thought he was like a lot older. I
Yeah.
don't know why. Um, I can definitely see him being there though.
Okay.
If anything, like maybe not even starting, just off the, on the like just being able to be there on the team. I
Yeah.
see it for sure.
I'll leave him here in the pool for now.
Because he loves basketball. I know, like he's one of those players that like
He's a hooper.
you just he, like lives and breathes
Yeah,
basketball. So
for
for
sure.
sure.
I'll leave him in the pool. I won't put him in a
Cool.
lock. I'll just leave him here for now.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, I have in the pool. The reason I have Anthony Davis in the pool is because he's 31. He'll be 35 which for Anthony Davis feels old. Like
Yeah.
that feels like, past his physical prime. He, of course, has had a lot of injuries in his career. So I just don't know what 35-year-old Anthony Davis will look like. Um,
Yeah. I would
and yeah,
yeah. I would like to say yes, but I don't know. I think there might be other players, centers who might be younger who could kind of he wouldn't need to be there. And I kind of think he only not that he only did it because LeBron asked him, but I know like they wanted to, not they wanted to win because they lost last year with the younger guys and stuff. So I
yeah.
know they want to avenge, so to speak. I just keep seeing the Avengers thing everywhere, and I'm like, I wish there was a better name we could say.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with like probably not including him.
Okay.
I kind of get that.
Sure. And then the last guy currently on the team, Embiid, who is 30. He'll be 34. That feels old for Embiid. I want
Yeah,
to say I saw something that said like Embiid wouldn't do this again as well. Um, I could be wrong about that, but yeah, 34 for Embiid feels really old. Big body center falling on the ground all the time.
yeah,
So that one I'm kind of leaning. I had him been cut originally, then I said, no, I'll put him in the pool.
yeah. I could see it going either way. He's definitely. I see KD. I would say like yes. AD no. Embiid. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone better I could think of.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So how about for now, I will throw KD in the team.
Cool.
We'll have six, and let's say the other two are no's for now.
Okay, cool.
Um, Kevin Durant. Okay. So I want to go through, and this is in order of the top 100 of the Ringers NBA. So I'll go from whoever is ranked the highest to now.
Yeah.
Let's do. Trying to think. How many do I want to do at a time? This seems like a good cutoff. I got four guys for you that
Okay.
seem like a good cutoff point.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Jalen Brunson, who will be 31. Donovan Mitchell, who will be 31. Zion, who will be 27. De'Aaron Fox, who will be 30. That's three point
Hmm.
guards basically, and Zion.
Yeah. Um, I could see like Brunson and Zion.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't see like De'Aaron Fox or Spida. I
I
I leave.
originally, when I made this, I originally put Brunson as a lock. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know why I kind of see him wanting to be there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, and then Zion, if he's healthy, I could
If
see
he's
that.
healthy, big
That's
if.
a big if.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll
but
keep
yeah,
him in
I
the
would
pool
say
for now.
I would say Brunson for sure though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's I'm gonna give you I'll do I'll do four more here. Actually, I'll do three more here.
Okay.
Paolo, who is only 21 right now. Ja Morant, Tyrese Maxey. Ja will be 27, Maxey will be 20. I'm sorry, Ja will be 28, Maxey will be 27.
Um, I don't know why, but I think Paolo for me
Yeah,
is like the
Paolo feels
lock.
like he'll be there.
Yeah, I feel like he's already waiting, and Ja's like, I'm gonna be beating up 17-year-olds, and
Yeah,
then
wouldn't be the best look.
uh, and Tyrese Maxey, I could see too, but there's just so many like
So
too
many
many point
guards.
guards already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, I feel like if whatever reason like Maxey would maybe be like an injury replacement, like a Derek White type thing,
Mm.
throw in there. Um, but because all the similarities between all these point guards and guards that I'm seeing too is that none of them do defense.
Mm.
So that's why I wouldn't want to have like I wish we could have Maxi and like
I will say I read
Fox.
the names Trey Young and Darius Garland and just kept going. I said
Yeah,
that. I said none of
yeah,
those guys will be there.
absolutely not. But yeah, so I say Paolo, and
Paolo.
then
Okay.
I
That
wouldn't
puts us at
say
eight for now.
yeah.
Uh, Let me go.
Is it 15, right?
It's 12. It's only 12.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Next, I'm gonna hit you with three pretty young guys, but they've been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Okay. J-Dub, who will be 27. Scotty Barnes, who will be 26. Chet, who will be 26.
See, Chet, he was the first one I thought of. So I would throw Chet in there. I don't see J Dub doing it. And um who was the other one?
Scotty
Lost.
Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. I don't see him doing it either. I don't know why, but I see Chet doing it.
Yeah, I like Chet. I mean, we don't
You
have a
need
ton of
a
bigs
five. Yeah,
right now,
exactly.
so yeah.
So I think he would be good. Him and Bam as like our back or our front court wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah.
And then Paolo as a four is also pretty good.
Let me give you a couple wings here. See if
Okay,
you like either of them.
let's do it.
Desmond Bane, who will be 30. Mikal Bridges will be 31.
I thought Desmond Bane's Australian.
I feel like he's American. Man went to TCU.
Yeah, I don't know why I could have sworn that he's like as an Australian. I thought he played for the Australian national team.
Born in Richmond, Indiana.
Maybe I'm just getting confused with someone else. I'll look it up later because I thought that was for sure. You said Desmond Bain and who?
Mikal Bridges, who will be 31.
I can see Mikal Bridges for sure.
Those wing
Um,
players are valuable,
old.
I feel
Oh,
like.
oh, oh, yeah, 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 for sure. Um, yeah, I see Mikal Bridges. I also could see Desmond Bain, but I would probably want the defense. You know what I
hmm
mean? For Mikal
That
Bridges.
that
Who I
currently
think,
puts us at 10.
yeah,
Just saying that. And I have a fair amount of names left.
yeah. I figured as much.
But I am getting further and further down the top 100 list. So,
Right, right,
uh, okay, next I have another couple young
right.
guys for you here. Evan Mobley, who will be 27. Cade Cunningham, who will be 26.
Um, I, maybe Evan Mobley, but I honestly don't know. I think I would just keep going.
Okay.
I don't think Cade. Yeah.
I'll give you a couple defenders here. I'll go Jaden McDaniels, Herb Jones.
Hmm. Um,
Daniels will be 27, Herb Jones will be 29.
I like Jaden McDaniels a lot. I think that would be good.
Do you,
Um,
do you think he can, do you think he can take the jump? Is kind of the question too, right? Like right now he's kind of
yeah,
like a 3 and D guy. He had sparks of offense here and there in the playoffs,
yeah.
but can he take the leap?
I think also my concern would be like, he did break his hand because they didn't make it to the playoffs,
Mhm.
So I'm like, I don't want guys that are too like volatile on the court either. Though that he not that he has issues, he's not Draymond or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I would since we only have two more, he's the one I would put next, but maybe let's see what else we got.
Let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah, I have a couple Jalen's. Jalen Johnson, who would be 26. Jalen Suggs, who would be 27.
So I wrote down Jalen Suggs as well because I feel like we needed some defensive
That would be
guards.
the next Derek White, right?
Yeah, literally, I was like, who would be the Derek White? I was like Jalen Suggs. Um, yeah, he's also gonna be. It would be. I don't see Jalen Johnson; he's too young still. I just don't think he's done enough. Actually, I think it's
Yeah,
crazy
part of
that
this
he's above
problem
Jalen
is in the
Suggs.
next
Yeah.
4 years, what will look like. That's the
Yeah, I know. I like him, but I don't think he's gonna be like that jump.
yeah.
I'm gonna have Jaden and Suggs on my like next.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So
I only have
let's
a
keep.
couple names left, three names
Yeah, yeah,
left
yeah.
for you.
Okay,
Uh
that's it. Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So we're I think we're getting a good little squad here. I have Trey Murphy the third, uh, and I have Brandon Miller. It's my next two.
See, Brandon Miller, I could see.
He's only 21 right
Um,
now, so he'd be 25.
yeah. So
Um,
I feel like they always kind of have. They used to always have like a young guy or a few like younger
oh,
guys.
I have one more name.
Even the last name.
Last name is Cooper Flag,
I knew you were gonna say Cooper Flag. I just knew
who
it.
is 17.
Which is insane to me. But I remember they were talking. They were sharing a lot of stuff on the Instagram about like the scrimmages because they had
Yeah,
players come and scrimmage against the Team USA.
yeah.
Um, with like what I know that I'm confident with, let me go down like our guards, forwards, and centers real quick. So
Yeah,
we got we
I can.
got
You want me to read it to you real quick, or?
Yeah, we got Hallie, we got Ant,
Uh-huh.
Brunson,
Yep. And Booker.
uh, and Book. Thank you. Forwards, we got
Yeah,
Tatum,
Tatum. Yeah.
KD,
KD. Paolo.
Paolo, Mikhail, right?
Mikhail, yeah.
Yeah. And then centers, we got Bam and Chet, right?
Yeah. Pretty balanced so far.
Pretty balanced. Definitely don't need like I'm looking at this like I would want one more center, but
One more center, another wing. Yeah, the guards feel
yeah.
good. The guards
The
feel like
guards
they're
feel
kind of
good.
done.
So like I don't think like we need a Suggs. Ant is a I think a really good defender. He's just gonna get better, I think, too. So
Yeah.
the wings will help out with defending. They're all pretty good, except for KD, 39-year-old KD. Um
Yeah. You don't have to put them on.
no, I know, but I feel like I feel like he'd be there.
If you
Um
want me to go through centers really quickly, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Evan Mobley is on that list.
yeah.
I had Jaren Jackson, but he played so badly in the last year that I feel like they'll never put him on the team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I see that. Maybe if I'm being honest, I'd probably do
I'm feeling Mobley a little bit.
Mobley, and on maybe Cooper Flag because he's like a forward, right? He's like a wing.
Yeah, he is like a forward. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Jaden McDaniels, but he kind of strikes me as a guy who may not be interested as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other
Um,
forwards you have to choose from here are going to be Zion, J-Dub, Scotty Barnes, Desmond Bain, Jaden McDaniels, Herb Jones, Jalen Johnson, Trey Murphy, Brandon Miller, Cooper Flag.
yeah. So I'd probably say Cooper Flag and Evan Mobley.
It's a good.
Um,
I pretty much agree with most of
right?
like I had all these players and I was like, man, I don't know. But as you're saying these things, I'm like, yeah.
Right? It just feels right that
Feels
like some
good,
of
yeah.
these guys just don't strike me as like Olympic players. Like they don't as much as I want Zion to be healthy and play for USA, doesn't seem to me like he doesn't live and breathe hoops. Like he's not
Yeah.
gonna like it doesn't seem like he's like a patriotic type. So the
This is
name like
a
Cooper Flag, I'm like, I feel like that guy's patriotic as hell. So
this is a great list, I think. I think we put together a solid 12 here. You ended up with three bigs, four, five wings and four guards. I mean that's pretty ideal, I would say.
yeah, I think we did a great job.
Did I not mention anyone that you had written down on your list?
No, I had Jalen Suggs and Jalen Brown. Those are like the only two.
Oh,
Yeah. But I get the Jalen Brown thing. If like,
if Kevin Durant doesn't play, then you can maybe slot him in there.
yeah, I definitely if we remove all the stuff that he said, I definitely would have Jalen
He
Brown
would have
on
been a
this list.
lock for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Um,
maybe over like a Mikal Bridges or something
it's
like that.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was gonna say. So, yeah, I like that quite a bit. Now
Now
let's talk.
let's
Oh,
remember.
best Olympic team of all time.
We already did that
Our
one.
20 no our best 2028 is
Oh.
our how do they compare now to the other ones?
Now let's do the 2032 Olympic team. Let's go ahead
Okay,
and get ahead of it.
let's pop in. Let's pop in. Okay, so
Yeah.
these eighth
Well,
graders right
these
now are
pictures of
really
seventh
good.
graders. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, I heard about this one though at Van Nuys High School. He's going
Oh,
crazy.
shit.
Um, yeah. That was fun. Yeah, the Olympics were very fun. I didn't know exactly. I'm so glad that these weren't blowouts either. You know what I mean? Like it really felt good to have competitive games. And I don't think it's because Team USA is bad. I think it's because these other teams are that good. Again.
Yeah. And this feels like the first time I really paid attention to it to this degree. And of course, we have the podcast now, but even like 2021 Tokyo Olympics, we were both super into hoop by then. Maybe it was with the COVID protocols and such that it
Yeah.
made it a little weird. Why'd you make that face? You were in the hoops, right?
No,
That
no,
you,
no, no, no. I made that face because I watched it with my dad. My dad came into town and we watched like the last games. We watched the gold medal match and
yeah.
everything. So I was watching the Olympics
No, I
basketball.
said for me. For me,
Oh,
it was
yeah, I thought you were for us. Okay, got it. That's why and I was like, yeah, never mind.
yeah. I couldn't tell you much about the 2016 and 2012 and blah, blah. I mean, I was
Yeah,
young
yeah,
then, so
I get it. I didn't really. I don't remember that honestly.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's cool.
that's the
Next time,
Olympics.
that's the Olympics. Next time, I guess we'll just probably do some more off-season stuff. I hope these city jerseys come out soon, yo.
Oh yeah, I
Where
was
are
gonna
they at?
say I think this is like now that the Olympics happened, we're done. Until the season starts, nothing matters anymore. You're getting ratings, you're
Basically.
getting rankings, you're getting tier lists, you're getting I thought about episodes 2 and 3 of our podcast are off-season rankings, but like do we really need to do that if we already talked about all of the off-season stuff? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, we could just go through each
it'd
team
be
and just
quick. Like
yeah,
we don't
just
recap every single move.
yeah,
Like
just say like give them like grades just real
yeah.
quick, not like here's what they did. Here's what we
It was
think.
it was like 2.5 hour episodes.
Oh, I remember. I remember. I was there. I remember.
That's
No,
my problem. That's my
yeah.
problem.
No. I mean, obviously, I was there too, and I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, I think we could do a
I
little
just
bit
be
more
yapping.
streamlined. We just love hooping. We love hooping too much. Um, but yeah, very excited for like whatever the next that we do, and congrats again to Team USA and France and Serbia for all getting medals this year. Well deserved.
What
Um,
other cool Olympic things did you see?
dude, breakdancing.
Dude, somebody got 0 points in breakdancing.
Are you
Did you see
serious?
that?
I
Somebody got
didn't see
zero
that.
points.
In
Zero.
and the women's side of breakdancing, there's a her name is I forgot her name. She's Lithuanian. She
Hmm.
almost brought home the gold. She fought for gold.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, she lost, but she got silver, which is amazing. She's only 17. It was crazy.
She'll be back, maybe.
She'll be
Actually,
back. She's a lock. She's a
they already
lock.
said they already said they canceled it next year. They're not. Yeah, they already said that it's over. They already said this was a mistake.
What? Are you kidding?
No.
Dude, the breakdancing was like the coolest thing.
Yeah,
What?
unfortunate. But
You're gonna keep the shooting guns,
dude,
but not
that's a classic. I don't know. I handball.
that's
How cool is handball?
I like handball's cool.
Handball is
So
pretty cool.
breakdancing's cool too.
Volleyball, I watched a fair amount. It was fun.
Beach volleyball I
Pe-
saw.
People really
Yeah.
liked watching the track and field events at work. So there's a lot of, sprinting.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of races, and I can't tell you anyone's name, but there are a couple of races where like this
Yeah.
person won by like 5/10 of a second, like
Yeah.
crazy finishes. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry. It's not Noah Lyles. He's famous because like he's a shit talker basically, and
Yeah.
that's why he's famous. But there's another guy for America who was way behind coming down the stretch for this race and just like took these monster steps and then, did the little lean and barely took first place. It was crazy. I was like, oh, that was awesome.
That's
Um,
actually crazy. I
yeah,
saw some swimming too. Just a little bit though.
swimming. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just bummed about the breakdancing now. But
I want to make sure that's true. I want to make sure I'm not lying.
yeah, it's okay. My voice is shredded, so
You're like, I'm ready to be done.
I'm ready to rest my voice for days, 40 days and nights.
Yeah, her name was Rachel Gunn, so she went by Ray Gunn. Scored 0 points for having some absolutely horrible, awful like routine that
I can't wait to
was not
watch that tomorrow.
serious.
I can't wait to watch that tomorrow at work. It's gonna give me so much life. Um, but yeah, thanks again everybody who listened to the podcast and hope you enjoyed watching the Olympics. And if you didn't watch the games, highly recommend watching like the last two against Serbia and France, especially with the USA. And yeah, thanks for bringing home the gold. And I think we're gonna do the shot
Yeah,
real quick.
breakdancing not coming back,
Okay, well, it's a mistake.
as well as boxing.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
boxing and
because
fair.
the controversy it caused?
I guess I don't know.
That's
Um,
ridiculous.
there's 6 sports that are coming in 2028 though. Flag football, interesting. Squash, baseball is coming back. Softball, lacrosse, and cricket, all coming back to the Olympics in
Okay,
2028.
and breakdancing. What's so what's so tough? It's literally going to be in LA. What are you talking about? You're not going to have breakdancing? That's crazy.
Well, they said they're dropping it.
All right.
It's one and only Olympics. All right,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Let me. How do I fucking do this? I gotta shake off the rust like I did for this podcast. That's probably disastrous for the podcast. Oh, yeah. Nope, I can't.
No, no, perfect. There we go. All right, toss it up,
Ugh.
boy.
Oh,
Hey, pretty close.
that wasn't so bad.
That wasn't that
All
bad at
right.
all.
Thanks for
Anyways,
listening, everybody. Subscribe, like, da, da, da. Hey.
and we'll see you next time on Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Buckets, America style.